you're going somewhere.
Eventually.
Celebrate Christmas.
I have to ask, I just saw Dex wearing Kelly Bryant's jersey, and that jersey looked like that was all it can handle.
God, he almost looked skinny, didn't he? I mean, isn't it amazing how a number can enhance you or decrease you, one of the two, you know? Yeah, this is always that's kind of I have no idea where that tradition came from. There's just certain things around here that I don't know where they started. I have no idea, and that's one of them. But forever and a day that I've been here, the last practice, they all swapped jerseys.
We used to do it during the season every Thursday.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
It's kind of like
that was probably before I was the head coach.
It's kind of like Boxing Day. They do that in England in the military. The officers and enlisted men switch.
I guess, but they've done that forever, and you know, I always forget about it until I walk out to practice on this day every year, and I go, oh, it's that day again. When the quarterback's wearing 99, but anyway, good practice. You know, really pleased with what we got accomplished here at Clemson. You know, the guys have been super focused. You know, especially since last Saturday or Friday when we finished finals. I mean, these guys have really put in good work, and you know, feel good about what we've gotten done. We've got the plan in, and so you know, excited for everybody to get a few days here, a little break. Come back here on the 26th. Everybody just has a good travel day, which is nice because we've been traveling back Christmas Day for the past several years. So now everybody can really enjoy that day and come back on the 26th, and then we'll kind of have a normal game week, practice here, and then head on to the bowl site on the 27th. But really have enjoyed this team, and hope we get another chance to practice here at home. It'd be nice.
Is there that time of year any academic casualties or expect?
No, I think they're all good, and man, guys, the early returns have been really good. I mean, we've had some guys. I don't have all the grades, but you know, they compete amongst each other. You know, position groups. You know, hey, our group was a 2.94. Our group was a 3.0, whatever. And I think it's really good that they all take pride in it. But we had some guys really excel, and I'm excited to get all the final grades. And that's something we talk about as a team. And these guys take a lot of pride in it.
Coach, I saw Austin Bryant in the yellow jersey on Wednesday. I'm assuming nothing serious there.
No, he's all right.
Everybody else is good health-wise.
Yep. Yeah, everybody's good.
How are Richard?
Except Judah.
Right.
You know, Judah's not going to be able to go.
Richard Jurgen and Greg Hugel.
They're great. They're really doing well. You know, Greg is progressing nicely. He's way over the hump. You know, I mean, he's doing good. And then Jurgen, I mean, he's been awesome. I mean, you'd never in a million years know that there's anything wrong with him at all. But you know, I think he's really good. But you know, again, it's just one of those things. You're just gonna be very cautious with him all the way through. But he graduated yesterday. I think it was yesterday. We had 15 guys graduate yesterday. I mean, just incredible. You know, really proud of all those guys, and Richard was one of them. And a lot of them have eligibility left. So just getting it done, man. I love it. But he's doing good. Should be ready to go for hopefully spring ball.
Coach, you and the other coaches have said that this game is going to all boil down to one-on-one matchups. Hunter Renfro was telling me the other day how excited he is about going up against Fitzpatrick for the third time. Is that about as good as it gets as far as matchups go?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's nowhere to hide in a game like this. You're not going to trick anybody. I mean, you just have to out-execute people. And when you're at all three levels, you know, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, running backs, receivers, DBs. I mean, it's kicking game. I mean, it's a few plays, but that's. I'm sure that they'll be looking for number 13. He's had a pretty good couple games, so you know, it'll be a good matchup. You know, because they're going to do what they do. I mean, they're not going to come in and all of a sudden, you know, change what got them there, and neither are we. So it just comes down to who can execute the best that day, those 4 quarters.
I know you like this time of year because of the red shirts or the JV work that you get. Have any of those guys kind of popped out to you?
You know, I think it's been. I do love it. We scrimmaged Wednesday, and it was great. You know, a lot of guys. It's just great to see them be so engaged, and you can just see the improvement. Because a lot of these guys, first time I've seen them scrimmage since camp. And so now, you think, are they improving over on scout team? And a lot of these guys have really gotten better. And it's not just the guys that are redshirt. It's some of our redshirt freshmen, some of those guys that haven't played as much. It's Justin Foster, Xavier Kelly's, those guys going as well, Shaq. And, all those guys are progressing. And this is big for them. And we don't have time limits on us. Our GAs and the guys that can coach, they'll take those guys and have some individual meetings and just kind of meet them where they are, offensively, defensively, wherever they are, and just try to make some big strides with them between now and the end of the season. So, and just get them in a better spot to start spring ball. But, all those young linemen, Jordan Williams, those guys, Blake, Noah, Bach, those guys are all doing great.
As far as NFL decisions, do you wait and talk with guys about that after the season?
I've had conversations with several of them, just because you want to give them the best information, but there's a couple of them I think have made decisions, but there's a couple that probably up in the air, and I think that's one thing I've really appreciated about this team. These guys, they don't really want to talk about it. I've had to kind of force a couple of them to hey, let's sit down, and this is something we need to really process. Let's just take a little minute, and then we'll get back in our world here, because they're very committed guys. They're very focused, and I love that about this team.
As far as numbers, does that make it hard at all, trying to figure out how many scholarships?
No, we've got good numbers. We're in a good spot with our scholarship numbers. I mean, we had 5 walk-ons that we put on this year, and I think we have and then we had our 9 seniors, and so we're in a good spot with our numbers, and then guys that I know are probably going to move on. We know Taylor has already made a decision, and there's a couple other guys that I think have a decision to make. But, that stuff all works itself out, and then usually there's somebody that'll walk in and tell me that they're leaving that I don't know. I have no idea. You never know those things. Like last year, even after signing day, we had 2 guys decide to go play, their last year somewhere else, but graduated. So I think we're in a good spot roster-wise, but we'll have a couple spots to fill in January, but not many. Not many.
Dabo, aside from Alabama's talent on defense, what makes it hard for a quarterback to go against Nick Saban and all the stuff he does pre-snap, post-snap? What's the biggest?
I mean, just first of all, they're just so sound. I mean, they're just rarely out of position. They're very technically sound. They're physical. I mean, that's just that's the culture that they have in their program. So there's a certain mindset that you just have to have for 4 quarters, and if you don't, you're in trouble. So the mentality, number one, the soundness schematically, and then the diversity of what they do. So they're not going to just throw one pitch at you. They're a very multiple front, multiple coverage type of team. They're going to play a lot of man, but how they get to that is not always the same. Last year they played a lot of 2-man on us at first down, which was a little unique. And the only way you got to make plays. They force you into competitive plays, and most of the time they're better than everybody they play in those competitive matchups. And because they can line up and play man coverage against pretty much anybody, and which allows them to control the box, allows them to control the safeties. A lot of times they can stop the run with 2 safeties, 2 high safeties, and that's a huge advantage. So they just, they're just really, really talented. It's the biggest challenge that you have, and then well coached.
Without giving any of the game plan away, obviously, they've been so banged up at linebacker. When a team is so decimated at a particular position like that, does that affect how you game plan?
Give me a break. I would never use the term decimated at any position group at Alabama. All right, they got players for days. Just go check all them recruiting rankings. Now they've had some guys hurt, but them guys that are playing, they didn't just show up there all fall off a turnip truck. All right, they're really good football players.
When you look at getting Trey Lamar back into the mix, what can he bring, especially when he's healthy?
Well, I mean, he's 250 plus pounds, and he's physical, and playing a team like this, he just gives you a big time physical presence against big backs. They're just gonna force the issue. It's just the way it is. I mean, they're 2-to-1 run the pass, on their season. This is not a And they don't bring a lot of balance into this game. They bring a sledgehammer, and that's just who they are. And so, if he gives you a physical presence, just glad we got him back.
Coach, how big is gap integrity on the defensive line going to be with containing Jalen Hurts?
Well, it's huge. I mean, they've had a couple. They popped. The first year we played them, they popped that first long run, just for that reason. I mean, we fit a gap wrong. Had two guys in one gap and had one open, and what's that big back's name? Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry found it, and 50 yards later, it was a touchdown. And then last year, Scarborough, the one long run outside, we didn't leverage the ball, we didn't run the alley the proper way, and it got outside of us, and so we were gap short essentially, and they find it. So these guys know how to run the football. So even if you fit it right, you still gotta make the tackle, you gotta win the matchup, get off the blocks, but if you're not where you're supposed to be, they'll expose you in a heartbeat.
I know going into the year, people kind of comparing Dion and Mike. Do you think that was